I spent quite a bit of time the last couple of days putting together all the things that I want to tell you about objection handlers today, because my goal is for you to leave this webinar an hour from now, like with your mind blown of all the great things that you picked up and learned. So I do have some notes on my iPad. So if you see me looking to the side, I want to make sure I don't forget to tell you anything that I actually mean to tell you. So here's what's going to happen. Three things that my intention for this hour today. The first thing is I want to talk to you about what is an objection. What exactly is it? And the mindset that you need to have so you can handle and overcome objections powerfully and be able to close for more appointments. So that's the first thing. Second, I am going to share with you the 4 steps, just 4. It's so easy. The 4 steps to handling objections over the phone. And then the last thing we're going to do is I have some really great scripts that I'm going to share with you. I have a friend in real estate. How do you handle that? Like an actual script. I'm not selling anymore. Common expired objection. If you call FSBOs, bring me a buyer, I'll pay you a commission, and some great closes. So that's coming up at the end. So hang in there, okay? Now, when I was thinking about what I should talk to you, how do we get in 1 hour the main points across to you so you can overcome just about any objection. So I made 2 assumptions when I started writing things down. The first thing that I assume is that you chose to show up to this webinar today because you want to sell more homes. If that is true for you, raise your hand. Okay, you're on the right webinar. Good. That's a good start. And then the second assumption I made is that in selling more homes, which is your goal, you want to make those additional homes that you're going to sell listings sold versus buyers. If you agree with that, is that a good assumption? Raise your hand again. Let me see. Okay, you're all good. Right webinar. Sell more homes and make more of them be listings sold versus buyer sales, because obviously having more listings than buyers will help you keep your sanity, and that's always, that's always good. So I know many of you now are working in a hot seller's market. A lot. I have clients that I'm training currently all over the US, Canada, hot market, seller's market, low inventory, multiple offers. I mean, really, it doesn't matter what kind of market you're working in. We always want to focus on listings, and especially in a hot market. I mean, do you want to be running around with buyers and then you make an offer and there are multiple offers and highest and best and you're losing properties? Think about it. The listing agents are the ones in control. So that's what we're here to talk to you about today. So I want you to, I'm not going to keep repeating it over and over again, but I really would like for you to have a pen and paper and write some things down, because I'm going to say some things because I'm just laying down a foundation for this conversation. And some of the things that I'm going to say are going to seem obvious to you. You're like, okay, I still want you to write it down because these are important things for you to remember. The first one is, look at this. There are, no matter what kind of market you're in, buyer's market, seller's market, hot market, I don't care. Listen to this. There are a lot of sellers listing their homes with an agent in your market every day. Period. Now, if you're listening to this and you're thinking, well, there are not a lot in my market, then I suggest you move somewhere where there are people and there are actually, there are homes that they can sell. So there are people listing, a lot of people listing their homes in your market every single day. And I want you to write this question down. Who is the agent or the agents? Who's listing these properties? Who? Why isn't it you? And here's the answer that I came up with. It's not you, lots of homes being listed. Why not you? Because you are not going after them. You're not. You're not talking to people enough people to find the ones that are ready to list and sell right now, so you could be the agent taking these listings. Now, let me go back to the assumption that I started with. I assume you're here because you want to sell more homes, and I assume you want these homes to be listings sold instead of buyer sales because you want to, keep a good state of mind, and working with buyers can be very challenging. And again, keep writing things down. For you to sell more homes and have them be listings sold, you need to take more listings. That's an obvious statement. How are you going to have more listings sell without taking listings? So to have more listings sell, you have to take more listings. Now, to take more listings, you have to go on more listing appointments. To go on more listing appointments, you have to set more appointments. And to set more appointments, you need to talk to more people and be able to handle their objections. I know this makes sense to you. I'm just taking you back. I'm breaking it down so you could see in the end, it all comes down to you got to talk to more people. And people typically have objections. You got to be able to handle these objections so you could set more appointments, so you can go on more appointments, so you could take more listings, and you can have more listings sell. So we come down to, guess what? The word, I'm going to say it, prospecting. So I said it quickly. I'll repeat it in a little bit, okay? I don't want to scare you. Why agents don't prospect consistently? Why aren't you, because very few of you are doing enough of it, why aren't you talking to more people every day so you could find those people who want to sell? So here's what I came up with. And, I don't make this stuff up. I mean, first of all, I've sold a lot of real estate, so I know a lot of the things that you go through. I've gone through it. But for the last 15 years, I have had tens of thousands of agents, literally, that I've worked with in training or coaching, in group programs, one-on-one, and speaking, all kinds of things. So why? Why don't agents prospect consistently? I may be speaking with you, so I'm going to use the word you, because you don't believe that you can set a qualified listing appointment every day that you either pick up the phone or go door knocking, whatever you choose to do to prospect. You just don't believe that you could set qualified listing appointments. So it seems to be a waste of time. And you have so many more important things to do. So prospecting is really not at the top of your list. Now, write this question down. If you knew, like I say, it's a script, if you were absolutely confident that you could talk to 20 or 30 people in one day, in a morning, set a qualified listing appointment, go out and take that listing that same day. Wouldn't you just love making these calls and having these conversations? Shake your head yes, because I'm sure you would. If you actually knew, you believed absolutely confident you could talk to 20, 30 people, set an appointment, go out and take a listing that day, wouldn't you be making calls every day? Come on now, right? Okay, great. We'll get there. Who's that? That's like dancing around. This is so fun. Okay, so here's the challenge. Prospecting, talking to a lot of people without being able to handle their objections. I've been there, is kind of useless, and it can get discouraging. Wouldn't you agree? It's discouraging. If you're not able, yeah, you're talking to people. I know some of you, whether you call it prospecting or lead generation, whatever, I know I need to do it. I know it's the answer for me to be able to control my business, control my income, control my life, control my time. But guess what? I pick up the phone. I talk to, I try, but it's like they give me all these objections. I don't know what to do with them. So I get discouraged. Sounds, yeah, normal, right? Like every human being. That's why this is Handling Objections 101, which is, before I titled this webinar, I was thinking, Handling Objections 101 sounds really good, but one-on-one sounds kind of elementary. And some of you are doing amazing amounts of business already, but this is really not elementary stuff. Some of it may be things you've heard about, but it's all things that we can all use reminders of. Okay, so here we go. We agreed that if you could set an appointment, you would want to, you'd be happy. You would love making these calls. Now, to set one qualified is the caveat. It comes after you set the appointment. But to set one listing appointment every day, because that's the goal. Okay, some of you may know, because some of you are my clients and many of you are not yet, that I am the founder and trainer at SalesX Training. The only goal I have for every agent that joins my training is for you to be able to set one qualified listing appointment every day. That's it. I don't care about anything else. Okay. Qualified listing appointment. One a day. Because why else would you want to talk to anybody? So to set one listing appointment every day, you have to be strategic about who you talk to. Look at this. It's common sense. Write this down. All contacts are not created equally. They're not. If you are going to prospect, because at the end of this webinar today, I'm ready to go. I know how to handle these objections. That's it. I'm going. If you're going to do it, it makes sense that you would go directly to the people that want to sell, wouldn't it? Does that make sense? You want to set a qualified listing appointment a day. Why would you be talking to random people that you have no idea if they want to sell or not, when you can go directly to the ones that want to sell? Who are those people? Expireds and for sale by owners, right? Now, I can't help myself, every webinar, no matter what topic I choose to talk about, I have to bring up expireds and FSBOs, because that's the truth. You want to set a qualified listing appointment a day, there are no better prospect for you to call than expireds or FSBOs, because you already know they want to sell. Now, the reason why agents don't call them, and some of you are guilty of that because you are not calling. You're not calling and you're not doing it consistently and you're not doing enough of it, even though these are people that want to sell. So why aren't you calling? Because agents, see if this fits for you. Agents are afraid of making the call, not knowing how to handle all the objections that you're going to hear and getting hung up on. That's why. you don't call. Again, it comes down, or it comes back to being able to handle their objections, having the confidence that it doesn't matter what they throw at you, you can handle it and you can set an appointment. Now, I want you to write this down. You have to come to terms with the fact that mastering expireds and FSBOs is how you will control your income, your time, and your sanity. Okay? Because the fun of prospecting is knowing that you can walk into your office every morning without a single lead, 0 potential leads, talk to 20, 30 people, set a qualified listing appointment, go out and take a listing that day, and you could do it over and over. Let me tell you, that is exciting. Okay, it's exciting. That's the kind of business you want to be involved in. So let me just say this, because I know that for some of you, you're like, okay, yeah, I know, I've tried making these calls. They hang up. It's not easy. I didn't say it was easy. It's possible. It's gonna take dedication, hard work, commitment, okay? But you can do it. And I say it with confidence that you can do it, because expireds and for sale by owners changed my life. Like, the change, I don't even have enough words to explain. I feel like I was talking to a friend of mine last night, and we were talking about, our lives before real estate. And she had a similar situation. And when I heard her tell me, and this is, like she's grossing $6 million a year in real estate sales, right? And she was telling me, well, before I got into real estate, I had no idea what I was doing. I'm like, that's hard to believe. So I know that when I say FSBOs and expireds changed my life, if I tell you where I came from, you're like, really? Yeah, really? Yeah. Anybody who knew me 25, 26 years ago before I got into real estate, and they look at me now, unrecognizable. And there is nothing about that person that's like this person. I was, first of all, very shy. Can you believe that? Kind of, introverted, quiet. Like, I avoided social situations. If you invited me somewhere and I know there's a lot of people I don't know, I don't want to go, because I just don't like, I never felt comfortable just talking to people I don't know, being around, just shy, quiet, introverted. I mean, there's a lot of like childhood stuff that led to me being the way where I'm not going to bore you with that story, but I'm an only child. I grew up, alone, lonely, blah, 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 yada, yada. Okay. So in addition to that, can you believe that? I didn't like talking to people. In addition to that, I don't have a college degree. I don't have an education. I flunked my first year in high school. I was terrible in school. I hated school. English is my second language. I mean, and I could go on and on and on, okay, about why, if I was able to change my life, and not just my life, because when you change your life, you change the lives of everyone around you. Anyway, enough of that. So let's talk about why for sale by owners and expireds give agents so many objections. How many of you have ever called at least one FSBO or expired? Raise your hand. Or called or door knock, or you spoke with one. A lot of objections, right? Like, why? Okay, let's understand this. Here's why. They don't know you. Write this down. Obvious. They don't know you. They don't think that they need an agent. They don't want to work with an agent. Expireds too, most of them. Most people don't even like agents. Real estate agents this industry has a bad reputation. Most people are like, they don't look at real estate and say, wow, highly qualified professionals. No, our industry as a whole, doesn't have a very good reputation. So most people don't like agents and they don't trust agents. Now, this is why they give you so many objections. Do you understand that? Would you agree with that? Makes sense, doesn't it? Yeah. So here's the thing. I want you to, I said in the beginning that one of the things that I want you to really understand is, what is an objection and what should your mindset be? So here you go. They give you objections to challenge you, to test you. Okay. You call and here's what, they don't know you, they don't want to list with an agent, they don't think they need an agent, they don't like agents, they don't trust agents. Okay. And you answer the phone. Hello. And, oh, hi, this is Jackie. And then you use my script, and then here's what they're thinking. They're like, oh yeah, you think you know what you're doing? Take this. No, I don't want to sell it anymore. Why didn't you sell it when it was listed? I don't want to pay a commission. I don't need an agent. It's like they're testing me. They're testing you. Okay. So here's the first mindset you need to have. Don't be surprised when you hear objections. Should you be surprised? I mean, we know they don't know you, they don't want it, they don't need it, they don't like it. It's not like when they say, I don't want to pay a commission, you should be shocked to hear that, okay? So don't be surprised when you hear objections. Expect them and be prepared for them. You will be prepared for them by the end of this webinar today, okay? So expect and be prepared. And I want you to write this quote down. Luck happens when preparation meets opportunity. We know these expireds and FSBOs are a huge opportunity. So is this webinar about expireds and FSBOs? Listen, it's not. But those are the people that give you the most objections. And those are the hottest prospects you can talk to. So if you want to sell more homes, you want more of these sales to be listings sold versus buyer sales, you got to go on more appointments, means you got to set more appointments. You got to be able to prospect more and handle their objections. I don't know why it's so difficult to understand that. You want to get around that. You want to go find an easy way. Well, guess what? How's that working out so far for you? Okay, luck happens when preparation meets opportunity. Second mindset that you're going to adopt immediately. An objection is an opportunity. And here's why. Because they haven't hung up on you yet. The fact that they're giving you an objection, it's an opportunity. Really is. Because they're still there. So every time they give you an objection, they're testing you. What they're really saying is, say something that will make me feel like meeting with you is not a waste of my time. So when they say to you, I'm not selling anymore, I don't want to pay a commission, I don't want to list with an agent, I have a friend in real estate, what they're really saying is, go ahead, tell me something to make me change my mind, okay? They're saying, say something that will make me feel confident that you could actually get my home sold. That's the test. And here's the challenge for you. They keep giving you the same objection over and over. Sometimes they say the same thing. They say it once, and then a few minutes later, or 30 seconds later, they say it again. The same objections or different ones, to see if you could actually say something that will cause them to change their mind about how they feel about real estate agents in general. As long as they're still talking to you, it doesn't matter if it's an objection. As long as they're still on the line, a yes is possible. That has to be your mindset. And here's another way to say that. They are a yes until you turn them into a no. As long as they're talking, as long as they're still here, a yes is still possible. Now, real quick, how do you know when they say something? How do you know if it's a condition or an objection? A condition, an objection, you can overcome. A condition is something that you can do nothing about. So when you hear, I'm not selling anymore from an expired, is that a condition or an objection? I don't know. Could it be a condition, meaning they're just not going to sell no matter what? Yeah, it's possible. I have a friend in real estate. My mother is a real estate agent. I'm going to list with her. Is that a condition or an objection? I don't know. It's possible that doesn't matter what I say. It's their mother and they're going to list with her no matter what. So this is mindset also. I guess this is mindset point number 4 here, okay? Always assume whatever they're saying, it's an objection. Never assume it's a condition. Assume that, remember, they're testing you. Say something to convince me. Go ahead. Why should you always assume that it is an objection? Because otherwise, the call is over. The conversation is over. So we're talking about like mastering objections. So you could set more appointments, go out on them, take more listings, have more listings, sell. And I already said this, so I'm not going to repeat. I didn't say it this way, so I'm going to say it. Don't take no for an answer when a yes is still possible. And the fact that they're still there means a yes is still possible. Okay? Now, you're going to stay here until the end because at the end, I'm going to tell you how to get the scripts, okay? I'm going to keep going here because it's already 2:30. My goodness, on the East Coast, time flies when you're having fun. I'm having fun. Are you having fun? Are you learning some good stuff? Okay. Here you go. 4 steps to handling objections over the phone. So now that you understand what an objection is, you understand what your mindset needs to be. What are the 4 steps? Over the phone or at the door or whatever, however you choose to prospect. Why are you going to master this? Because you want to set more appointments so you could have more fun, so you could actually love making calls because they make you money and you're helping people. They need to sell their house and they need a great agent because if they don't list with you, guess what? They're still going to list. People that want to sell, they're going to sell. Whether you talk to them or not, they're going to do it. It's just they're going to likely to end up in the hands of the average agent out there that gives us all a bad reputation. So don't let that happen. Here we go. Before I give you the 4 steps, a couple of things I want to say. Be a leader. Be a leader. What does that mean? I'm going to give you a couple of things to think about. Leaders, high energy, confident, and knowledgeable. You have to come across as the expert. Otherwise, you're not going to be able to handle their objections. Okay? Why is it so important to have high energy, be confident, knowledgeable, be the expert? I'm sure you could figure that out. I mean, it's obvious. Here's the thing. People make decisions when they're excited about the future. The decision to say, yes, come over at 4 o'clock, I'll meet with you. The decision to agree to meet with you. They're going to agree when they're excited about the future. it's your responsibility to cause that feeling in them that they're like, whoa, yeah, this is the right person. This agent can sell my house. I feel good here. Yes, this is not a waste of my time. So you gotta have for them, when I say people make decisions when they're excited about the future, you gotta instill this excitement and confidence in them. It's your responsibility. It's not gonna happen unless you make it happen. When you come across knowledgeable and confident, they feel confident. Okay. Now, this is like the biggest challenge when you hear an objection. Hesitation. You hesitate. Listen to this. When you're confident, you make him feel confident. When you hesitate, they hesitate. Now, what do I mean by that? You may hesitate because in that moment, you just don't know what to say. You don't know how to handle this objection. So you go, hesitation. So your hesitation is because you don't know what to say, and their subconscious mind, it's a feeling they get. Like your hesitation causes them to hesitate and question. It's like a feeling like, I don't know, no, I don't think you're the right, no, doesn't feel right, doesn't sound right. It's like a feeling they get, and all of a sudden they're questioning you whether you're the right agent, whether you can sell the home. It has nothing to do with your ability or your confidence that you can sell the home. The only thing it has to do is the fact that you don't know what to say. But when you hesitate, they hesitate. When you get weird, it's happened to all of us in some of these calls, guess what? They get weird. So I want you to consider that they're a mirror of who you are being. And they are a yes until you turn them into a no. When you hesitate, when you get weird, you turn them into a no. All of a sudden they're like, yeah, no, I'm in a hurry now, click. No, click. They were there waiting, testing you. So here are the 4 steps. Let's go. Let's write down step number 1. It's really so simple. I mean, these steps, showing objections, seriously. Step 1, listen intently. That's it. You don't even have to say anything. Just how easy is that? Actually, I say it jokingly that it's so easy and it's so hard to actually be present in the moment and listening intently, because the tendency is to be thinking about what to say. Oh, the script, where do I go? What am I going to say? If you don't have the scripts internalized, there's a step above internalizing the script, which is owning it. I call it own. You got to own it. You got to own what you're going to say, because otherwise you're in your head thinking. And when you're thinking about what to say or you're reading, you're not listening intently. So first order of business, you got to internalize at the very least, like first order of business, the first line on these FSBO and expired script. Step number 2, repeat and approve what they said. Paraphrase it when possible, so you don't sound like a parrot, okay? You can repeat exactly sometimes, but if you do it like that all the time, it's weird. When I say you get weird, they get weird. It's weird, okay? So repeat, approve, acknowledge what they said. Paraphrase when possible. Make them feel heard and understood. That's it. That's step 2. Step 3, ask a question to spark curiosity, create doubt, and get their attention. And I told you at the end, I'm going to give you a script. You'll be able to get some scripts, so you're going to be able to see this in action, okay? Because I'm not going to role play here because you're all muted because there are too many people here. It'll be too noisy, so I'm not going to mute anybody, but you'll get the script. There's a structure of these questions to get their attention. I mean, there are different ones, but my favorite is just the structure. When you get the script, you'll see. If blank, would you blank? It's a hypothetical, very easy for people to say yes to when you fill in those blanks with some powerful stuff. Wow. Appointments. And then step 4, close. Ask for the appointment. Now, here's the part that some of you may not like, but it's what you need to be doing. You have to ask for the appointment at least 5 times. 5 times. Oh no, oh my gosh, is that gonna be pushy and they're gonna go and they're gonna get upset and no, not if you do this correctly. If it's a conversation and you do everything that I'm telling you correctly, which it's gonna take practice, but no, it's not pushy at all. Okay, so at least 5 times or more. And how do you, so let's say you go through the 4 steps, you say you will close for the appointment. Would 4 o'clock work for you today? Would 3 o'clock work for you today? Would 4 be better? And they say no, another objection. What do you do now? You go back to step 1, listen intently, and then you ask again. It's not repetitive because you're listening, you're repeating and approving, you're asking questions that make sense based on how this conversation is going. Okay. And then you ask a second time and they say, no, I just started, let's say a Facebook, I just put it on the market and I'm getting a lot of calls. So yeah, no, I just really want to give it some time on my own. If you want to give me a call in about a month. Another objection. Go back to step 1, 2, 3, 4, at least 5 times, and this is really important, make it easy for them to say yes. These hypothetical questions, the if blank, would you blank structure that I told you, when they're worded correctly, it's easy for them to say yes. And when you ask for the appointment, I'd like to meet with you for just 20 minutes so I can show you what I do differently to get home sold in today's market. Just 20 minutes. Make it easy for them to say yes. Remember, in their minds, when they think about the average agents, not you, none of you are average. I know that because average agents don't show up to this kind of webinar, okay? So you're here for a reason. Average agents, though, they go on listing appointments and they spend 1.5 hours, 2 hours. Like, I wouldn't want to set any appointments with any agents either. So just 20 minutes. And can you do it in 20 minutes? 100%. Okay. So now, why is it so important for you to ask for the appointment at least 5 times? Here's what I said, a question to create doubt, spark curiosity, and get their attention. When they give you an objection, remember, they're testing you. They're committed to the objection. They're saying, oh yeah, you know what you're doing? Okay, here, handle this. And you you do everything correctly. You ask for the appointment the first time and they're like, every time you go through the 4 steps and you ask for the appointment, it's like you're chipping away at their confidence or their commitment to not meeting with you. You're creating doubt. You're sparking curiosity, getting to the point where they say, and you're making it easy for them to say yes. You're asking for 20 minutes and they get to a point where they say, you know what? Okay, come by at 4 o'clock. Got it. Appointment. And it's just like that. Okay, it's just like that when you do this correctly. Now, I could talk about this next thing that I'm going to say here to you for an hour, but I'm not because we don't have the time. But I'm still going to say it. Sound concerned when you're going through these steps. When you gotta sound concerned for them, not righteous or condescending. Oh, I would never sound righteous or condescending. Well, I've heard a lot of that in my years of training and coaching agents. Concerned. Now, the scripts don't work if you don't do the repeat and approval correctly. And I'm going to give you some examples here, okay? One of the scripts, by the way, I'm going to give you examples, but right now I'm going to tell you, I actually had put some scripts together to give you, and scripts are more word for word. When I role play, obviously I have the scripts, I own them, so I may not always say a word for word, but I want you to have them word for word. And so I'm going to tell you how to get them now, because I was going to kind of go through them here with you, but I decided not to. So I had a great idea. I thought, you know what? I am the founder and trainer at salesxtraining.com. Right back here, salesxtraining.com. So how you're going to get these scripts is by going to salesxtraining.com. You're going to get, we already have a friend or a relative in real estate. I'm not selling anymore. Bring me a buyer, I'll pay you a commission, and 3 great closes. So I had the great idea. Instead of me reading this and you're like, oh, you're all muted, but I could see myself getting, hundreds of emails saying, oh, I missed that piece, or, when is the recording available? So instead, you go to salesxtraining.com. On the home page, you scroll all the way to the bottom and you put in your information. The script will be mailed to you automatically. Okay, you just fill in your information and you'll get the script. Is that fair? That's easy, isn't it? And while you're there, you can check out the options of training. There's even a 7-day trial, which is a limited, it's just a sample of what the training is, but I offer daily training, daily, Monday through Friday. Every day, Monday through Friday, a new lesson on scripts, on skills, on mindset, on tools, strategy, structure, schedule, everything related to listings, pricing, price reductions, listing presentation. There's Zoom listing presentations I've done, a FSBO and an expired one from beginning to end that you'll be able to watch, scripts you'll be able to download, worksheets. Now, this is not all available with the trial. This is available when you become a member. And the membership is very inexpensive. You could be a member for an entire year for $999 for a year. Okay? If you want to do it monthly, it's $149. If you want to do it quarterly, it's $349. There's so much value that the price is irrelevant, okay, honestly. So you go there, whether you sign up or not, it doesn't matter. To get the scripts is not contingent on you doing anything. But go to the bottom of the homepage, fill in your information, and you'll get the scripts. So what I want to say about these scripts is, and the 4 steps that I gave you, if you don't do step 2 correctly and effectively. Step 2 is the repeat, approving, acknowledging, making them feel heard and understood. If you don't do that, which most agents don't, okay, this is not going to work for you. Why? Because people don't listen to you until they feel like you've listened to them. It's like that. It's not like that with FSBOs, expireds, and it's like that with everyone. how do your conversations go with friends, relatives, co-workers, significant other, your children, when they say something and you start talking and they don't feel like you've heard them, or the other way around, right? You're speaking with your spouse, significant other, friends, relatives, kids, whatever, and you're talking, you're saying stuff to them that's important to you, and you don't feel like they're listening to you, that they're just like, before you even finish speaking or the moment you stop, they start talking. How does that make you feel? Anybody like that? No. It's the same thing with these prospects. They're not going to listen to you until they feel like you've listened to them and you get it and you understand and you heard it. Right? So it's interesting because over the years, I've had agents ask me, well, I don't know why, but the scripts that you gave me don't work. I said, I used the objection handler, but it didn't work. Why not? I could almost with certainty, even without listening to the conversation, knowing exactly what happened, you weren't listening intently. You didn't repeat, approve, acknowledge enough. They didn't feel like you heard them and you understand them. So their subconscious mind's going, well, you didn't listen to me, so why I'm not going to listen to you. And it's like you're butting heads continuously. Guess what? Who's going to win that? The prospect. They have the power. They could just go click, hang up, done. So you gotta look. One of the scripts you're gonna download, the first one, we have a friend in real estate, friend, relative in real estate. Okay. So one of the questions to get their attention, there's a couple of different options that I put down for you on this one. Okay. But one of the questions to get their attention is, if you felt that it could be advantageous for you to work with someone other than your friend, would you consider it? It's a great question that could get their attention or spark they're like, well, what do you mean? What advantage? Great. That's exactly where I want them. Okay. I'm not going to start telling them over the phone what the advantage is. When they say, well, what do you mean? What is the advantage? That's exactly why I'd like to meet with you for just 20 minutes. I can stop by or I can see you today, or whether it's over the phone, in person, whatever. I can see you today at 3 o'clock. Would 4 be better? Now, if you say this to them without actually repeating and approving, they're gonna, especially with a friend, relative in real estate, they're gonna get defensive. Okay, chances are they're gonna say, well, but my friend is a really great agent, and I know they know what they're doing. They're gonna defend the friend. So what you need to say prior to asking, it's the step 2. Now, step 2 is not scripted because it depends on what it is they're saying and how they're saying it to you. But if the objection is, I have a friend in real estate, I'm going to say, if I'm talking to Catherine, I'd say, Catherine, I hear you. And, obviously I don't know who your friend is, but I imagine he or she must be a good agent, because obviously, regardless of whether or not they're a friend, you probably wouldn't work with them if you didn't believe that they are a good agent. So I completely understand. And let me ask you, Catherine, now I go into the question. So now, I'm saying, well, yeah, I'm sure your friend is good. They're like, well, they don't know what to do with me right now because I'm not arguing with them. And they're like, okay, they're open. They are open. If you don't do step 2, they're not open. Does that make sense? The next one, I'm not selling anymore. That's an interesting one because I'm not selling anymore, that's obviously an expired objection. And you're probably going to hear this from new expireds. Oh, the expireds could say it too, but it's a common objection with new expireds. And new expireds, and a new expired, someone that expired today, okay? Tomorrow, they're not new anymore. They're only new today. And new expireds, they're not usually happy people, okay? Unless you're in a very unique market, they're not happy people. They come across sometimes like angry. They're frustrated, they're agitated, they're even hostile. Okay, if you've called new expireds, but guess what? They're testing you. Yeah, they're entitled to be agitated, hostile, and frustrated. If you had your home on the market for 6 months and it didn't sell, you wouldn't be happy. I know I wouldn't. And then, it's not just, you're not the only agent calling now that it expired today. Okay. So I'm not selling anymore is a little bit different. You still got to repeat and, okay, so you're just going to leave the home off the market then. That's the repeat and approve. Okay. Something like that. And then you're going to ask a couple of questions, but it's a little bit of a different structure for that one. Then you're going to bring me a buyer, I'll pay you a commission. The most common FSBO objection, or I don't want to pay a commission. There are a couple of objections, really a handful. It's a handful of objections with FSBOs and expireds. There are not 50 different ones. There are a handful of them. And here's the fun part. And I'm saying this because I want you to get excited about the possibility of actually mastering this, because it's really not. Once you get it, you're going to see that it's easy. Okay, it's easy to do. Sometimes they say different things and you think it's a different objection, but it's not. They say it differently, but in the end they're saying the same thing. For example, I don't want to pay a commission. I don't want to list with an agent. I don't want to pay a commission. I don't want to list with an agent. I can sell it myself. Those three handled exactly the same way. They're saying the same thing. They're just using different words for the same exact thing. I don't need you. I don't want it. I can do it. It's all the same. So look at it that way, because it's empowering. Okay, it's not like you gotta memorize, a ton of different objections. Obviously, there are scripts and dialogues and different things that as you practice and you learn them, they start to flow. But it's all a conversation in the end. You gotta internalize, you gotta start by memorizing, internalizing, and owning the scripts, so you can get to the point where this is a conversation now. And you're not able to actually have a true conversation when you're worried about what to say. So 25 years ago when I got into real estate, I was there. I had no idea what to say. I had no clue. So I just got a script and I used to read to people. And it was awful. Okay, it was terrible. I got hung up on all the time. Expireds just would chew my ear off and spit it out. It was terrible. And I was like Miss Nice Jackie. I'm like, why are these people so rude to me? Why are they so upset? Why are they so angry? No, I didn't understand a lot of the things that I told you today. But guess what? My first couple of years, I had no choice. I just read the script to them. And even reading the scripts to them, if you talk to enough people, you'll be able to set appointments, take listings, and get them sold. I sold 25 homes my first year, and I had no clue what I was doing. Granted, I talked to 400 people a week to sell 25 homes. I calculated this, okay? My first year in real estate, it was 820 contacts or conversations to sell a home. That was like awful. I've been coaching agents for 15 years. Like I said, probably tens of thousands. I mean, I don't know. I lost count. I've never coached, trained, or met an agent that was as bad as I was my first year in real estate. So here you go. There's hope for you wherever you're at. You're certainly not worse than I was. And all of this changed my life. And I know that when you immerse and you say, that's it, I'm gonna make this happen, even if you never call FSBOs and expireds, the great thing about mastering all of this, it'll make your life better, it'll make your relationships better. But also, if you get a lead, okay, let's say you get a referral from a past client or sphere of influence, or you get a lead from the internet, or you get a lead from social media. Do you think you're the only one that has that lead? You're not, okay? Just because you got a lead doesn't mean that they're gonna use your services. Chances are that lead is they have a friend in real estate, they know somebody else, if it's an internet lead, who knows, like dozens or hundreds of agents could have the same lead. Social media, same thing. So you're gonna end up in a situation where you're gonna have to handle objections, you're gonna have to know how to present and close, and you're gonna need to, and pricing properties correctly. So even if you said, I'm never going to call FSBOs and expireds, my training is about you being great in the business of selling real estate, in the business of communicating. You're in the business of communicating with people. You're not going to sell more homes without talking to people, without presenting, without handling objections, closing, pricing properties correctly. That's what Sales X training is all about, okay? So I know you want to download the scripts. Go there, check it out, put your info. We'll get the scripts to you via email. And thank you so much. I know there are a million things you could have been doing for this hour, and I appreciate you being here. And I trust that everything that you heard in this hour will make a huge difference in your business. Okay, everybody? Thank you. Thank you. See you all next month, because we're doing these webinars once a month, and they're a lot of fun. See you later. Bye-bye, everybody.